Hey guys, so the topic of today's video is good Filipinas, bad Filipinas. One of my favorite topics. I'm just kidding. Good Filipinas versus bad Filipinas and the different categories of women in the Philippines. But before I go into the topic of today, I want to say thank you to everyone who watched my video, my latest video, where I was talking about how I got dumped by a Filipina. And thanks for your comments, great comments, very good reactions and suggestions. I would say over 95% of the comments are really helpful and valuable. Of course, you have a few exceptions, a few people who, like to troll around and stuff like that, but that's not important. So today, good Filipinas, bad Filipinas, and the two categories. Actually, there are more subcategories, but I just want to talk about the typical category of women when we think of bad Filipinas. These are the gold diggers, the so-called scammers, or liars or whatever. And on the other hand, on the other side, you would have the good Filipinas who are not scammers, who are not liars, and so on. Good girls who are working hard, taking care of their family, who have good intentions, want to get married, want to have family, living by their values. If they have any, I hope they have. For sure they have. So I have to give you a little bit of a back story how I actually started dating Filipinas, and I will do also a separate video on this when it comes to dating in Asia and Europe. What's the difference? Long story short, I came in 2006, I came to Hong Kong. I took up a job, started to work there. In Hong Kong, there are thousands of Filipinas working there, most of them as maids. So you're gonna run into these women, if you want or not, in the bar, in the clubs, in the parks, especially on the weekend, on the Sundays. And my first Filipina I actually met in a bar in Hong Kong. Yeah. At the time, I was not familiar at all with the dating dynamics in Asia, in Hong Kong, in Southeast Asia, not at all. That is a story for a different video. But I hooked up with a Filipina in a bar, and we went to my apartment, and you can use your imagination. So that was my first encounter with a Filipina, and that was my first encounter basically with an Asian woman. Okay. And over the years, basically, I would say probably I don't know, it's hard to say. In the first few years, I only met bar girls, basically. I also met my first real girlfriend, if you want to call it, in Hong Kong. She was a Filipina, a really cute girl. And actually, I didn't meet her in a bar, but her sister referred her to me or something like that. And this is also how I came to the Philippines, And in 2006 already, in July, I visited the Philippines the first time. But of course, at the time I was there with my girlfriend. So this is my history with the Philippines. So it's already now 17 years since 2006. I irregularly visit the Philippines. But since I worked in Hong Kong and lived in Hong Kong, I only dated basically Filipinas in the beginning, and all of them I met in bars. So that was my understanding at the time. I thought this is the way it is, and sure, it was funny, it was great. I had a good time with these girls, and with some of them I even stayed in touch for quite a few years afterwards. But I was really green behind my ears, and I was single. I was not really looking for a long-term, mature relationship, let alone a relationship which would lead to marriage. I was like 29 years old when I came to Hong Kong. So this is my experience with Filipinas, bar girls basically, for most of the cases. And the other category of women, or which falls actually into the same category, was when I dated them online. I dated a lot of Filipinas online at the time, and not in Hong Kong, because there was no point, because you can meet Filipinas very easily. But then I moved to Malaysia 2 years later, and there was, nothing much going on. So I started to use online dating sites, and one of them is Date in Asia. I know many of you guys know this website, this online dating platform. It's infamous or famous, however you want to look at it. And this is how I started to date online. And long story short, and I mentioned this already in my other video last week. When I really be honest, if I'm really honest with my dating experiences with the Filipina, they were negative. And now I know, because I looked at the wrong places, But at the time I was not really interested in a serious relationship. So, I just stumbled from woman to woman, and it happened that they asked me for money, or, play all these games. You know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me know. I can make a separate video about this. But most of you guys who watch these videos, you have experiences with that. So I ran into these women a lot, and just recently I noticed or learned that the online dating platforms are not really the ideal place to meet women, especially Filipinas, because they also fall into this category. We don't need to talk about the bars and the bar girls and the bar scene. If you need me to talk about it in detail, I make another video, let me know. But you can imagine, or what kind of woman you will find in these establishments. And I figured also the online dating websites, they are the same. It's how I look at it now is an online dating website is basically a gigantic disco, a gigantic club where girls hang around, they make themselves up, they dress properly, it's like you go to a club, they put makeup on, they put their nice dresses on, they want to impress, and they want to get to know the guys, they want to hook up with guys or get to know people, and these girls on these online dating platforms, this is how I look at it now, it's not really, most of the girls, I don't think they are really serious. They are serious about money and how to probably scam people and take advantage of guys and start their gold digging business. That's for sure. There is no doubt about it. By the way, I will also make a video in the future about, it's not only the Filipinas who are scamming around, there are a lot of foreigners also here who playing this game, so I want to make sure that you don't get it wrong here, there are certainly a lot of expats on these online dating platforms who also scamming around, they're just, they're not serious. But, after so many years of online dating, I have to admit, there was no real fruitful outcome. And I dated, I don't know with how many girls I was in touch over the many years, probably hundreds. And I met a lot of them, and we had fun and stuff like that. I also visited them in the Philippines, and we had more fun, and we traveled, and we had even more fun. But, at the end of the day, it was just what it was, fun and nothing really serious, Now, becoming older and hopefully a little bit more mature, I start to ponder and think about it a little bit differently, and in hindsight, you're always smarter, right? So this is the first category of women, the bad Filipinas, and you will find them. I'm not saying all bar girls are bad, but the majority, if you want a quality girl, don't look in the bars, And when you go to the bars, the probability is much higher that you run into these so-called bad girls, gold diggers, scammers, whatever, The same applies to the online dating websites. So this is this one category. The other category, where can you find the good Filipinas? I'm pretty sure the good Filipinas who are taking care of their life, who are busy with their normal daily life, busy taking care of their family and other things. I don't think they have dating so much in the forefront of their mind, you know. This is something, it's actually an interesting topic, also a topic for another video, which is actually called Has Social Media Destroyed Dating and Relationships? That's a very, very interesting topic, and I actually picked it up from one of my viewers who commented in one of my videos. So I'm not saying that the so-called good Filipinas who are busy with their job and taking care of their family, I'm not saying they are not interested in dating, but I think the probability that they just hanging around on dating websites full-time is not so common, because they are busy, they have other things in their mind, right? And I can confirm this, you know, I met so many girls online, they had no job, they had nothing to do, they're just hanging around at home, playing with their mobile phone. How do I know? Because they told me, and they were always available, even in the middle of the night, you know, probably because of the time difference to America. So fishy, you know, but at the time I didn't pay much attention, but now I realize even more and more red flags. So I stay away from these online dating platforms, and if I want to find a good Filipina, I just have to probably go to the mall, or you know, like it happened to me in Manila the other day when I was there 6 weeks ago. I don't know if I mentioned it in my last video. I don't think so. I don't remember if I mentioned it, but there was a laundry shop nearby my hotel. And of course I had to do my laundry, so I went inside this laundry shop and just dropped my laundry, right? And there were two girls, two Filipinas. One was a younger girl and the other one a little bit older. And so the older Filipina asked me then suddenly, just out of the blue, where are you from? I said, I'm from Germany. And then she said something in Tagalog to the other one, the other younger Filipina. And then the older Filipina turned to me again and asked me straight away, would you take my friend back to Germany? That was so funny. That was really a funny situation. We all laughed, you know. But I exchanged phone numbers with this younger Filipina, and we are still in touch today. So I assume this is one way how you can get in touch with so-called good Filipinas, you know. And I know this girl is really, really, really busy. She works so hard. She works in that laundry shop like almost 18 hours every day. I don't think she has time to play around on online dating platforms. So this is just one example I wanted to give you here. So I also need to put in the effort, you know, and even if we are also as men sometimes too shy to approach girls on the street, it doesn't matter if it is in Europe or in the United States or in the Philippines. If you are a shy person, then you will have difficulties to approach women, you know. And this is how it is. I can be honest about it, and we men can be honest about it, right? It's called approaching anxiety. And yeah, and the shortcut to that is just to go into a bar, put some money on the table, and the girls will flock to you. Yeah, this is also what I completely misunderstood in my early days in the beginnings, you know. I completely misunderstood that, you know. I thought the girls really like me because I'm so handsome. No, it's not. It's the money, you know. it's the money. But if you want to get a good girl, I believe you have to put in the effort, you know. You have to travel also to other places. I will stay away from places like Cebu and Manila, the big cities. They are crap. This is all a waste of time, I guess. You can give me your feedback on that, but especially Manila, I will stay away from that city. I lived there for 6 months also a few years ago. At the time I wasn't dating any Filipina because I had other things in my mind, but I think Manila is just a crappy place when it comes to dating. So I figured the province is probably much better to find quality and value girls, you know. The probability is much higher. I also, of course, through my profession as a chef, I worked in 16 different countries. I also worked in the Middle East, and I traveled the Middle East. I know for a fact that there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of overseas Filipino workers working in Dubai, in the Middle East, Qatar, Abu Dhabi, Jordan, blah, blah, blah. And I worked with them. I worked in Jordan for a while, and I had Filipinas in my team, you know. And they were hard-working women. They had a day job. They worked very hard for the little money they earned. I remember the salary was shit, you know. Sorry to say. And they had mostly kids already, and yeah. But also, these Filipinas, I don't really know what's going on in their mind. They also were dating around with boys and other guys and Arabs and Indians and Pakistanis and Western guys, so the full board. I don't know why they did that. Probably they want to have also some fun or just get distracted. I don't know whether that was serious or not. But I assume you can find, if you want to find a more responsible Filipina, then find an overseas Filipino worker, because she knows how hard it is to work for money and how hard it is to be away, so far away from your family in the Philippines, like a 12-14 hour flight, right? So it's very tough for them also to be so away from their families and children. Most of them are single mom also. They're supporting their little children, and they cannot even see their little children grow up. That is a double burden for these women, especially the women. But most of the young men also, they have family. You know, they have little kids to support. So it's a tough life. But I think, I know these Filipinas are more mature. I'm talking about the OFWs, the overseas Filipino workers. They must be more mature. And yeah, I know a lot of them. They're more mature, and the chances are higher that you find a quality woman among them. So yeah, that's basically it. This is this is what I wanted to say in this video. I just gave you a quick overview about my dating experience. So yeah, you could say it's my fault because I looked in the wrong places. Yeah, absolutely correct. You know, and also, you know, that's the thing. All these so-called negative experiences or bad experiences with Filipinas, you know, and I've been approached many times with fishy and sketchy excuses, you know, like my grandmother is sick, or my grandfather died, or I need money for my children for school and this and that. Probably some of the reasons were valid at the time, but you know, and yeah, I got approached a lot. When you only have these kind of experiences, I think it's just natural that your mind starts to form a certain opinion about this woman, and then you end up really with a very negative view about Filipina women, like so many guys have, right? The internet is full of bad comments, and I actually was one of them. Now I changed my mind a little bit. My mind is changing now. It's in the process of changing, and I'm happy about it, because it speaks actually for me and my own maturity, you know. It's always easy to blame, you know, especially when you get kind of ripped off. But don't forget, you know, I gave them money, of course, when they asked me. Sometimes I gave them money and sometimes I didn't. And it happened that I gave them money and they ran, they disappeared. But who gave them the money? It was me. These women, these Filipinas, they didn't rip me off, they didn't steal from me, nothing. In so many years of dating Filipinas, I can confirm they never stole anything from me. Not the bar girls, not the online girls. No single one woman has ever stolen from me. Yeah, but of course they are very smart in approaching you if they want things, you know, and I gave it to them, you know, so I have to blame myself. I want to make it very clear here, right? But we are not talking about huge amounts of money. It was maybe I remember one time I sent like $100 to a Filipina in Angeles City who I met in a bar. In the Dollhouse, yeah, the famous Dollhouse. That was my favorite disco, by the way, the favorite club in Angeles City. I just remembered. So yeah, I met this girl in this club, you know. We kept in touch, and yeah, and then she asked me one time, I need money for a TV. I liked her, so I sent some money from Germany, and then yeah, so what? $100 didn't hurt me. I never wasted thousands of dollars on Filipinas. Never happened that it happened they asked me for money, but many times also I turned them down, you know. So, and still today, of course, I'm very, very, very careful when I date Filipinas. Like when you watched my recent video, you could learn that I was suspicious and didn't spend so much money. I didn't stay in luxury resorts with that girl, so always budget, you know. And yeah, it cost me overall maybe the time with her. I'm referring to my previous video. So all the trips and the dinner and the movie and all that stuff, I haven't calculated it precisely, but I estimate it comes up to maybe between $500, $600, $700. So, you know, probably not even the flights, of course, but you know, I think it was maybe like not even $500. You know, that's okay with me. You know, it wasn't $5,000 or $50,000, $500. So what? You know, but I had a great time. Really, I want to make it clear again. Even the story ended badly, but you know, I had a great time with this girl. I cannot complain. Only the end was very abrupt and shocking, you know, but other than that, I got actually great value for my money, and I think she too, but she had a different agenda. So what, you know, shit happens. But I could have easily also take the $500 and put them onto a bar table in Angeles City, and you can spend easily $500 on a weekend, right? You know, but I don't do that anymore. I grown out of that. So yeah, good Filipina, bad Filipina. I, over the many years, dated actually more bad Filipinas, if you want to call it that way, than good ones, because I looked in the wrong place, you know. The chances are just higher to meet so-called bad girls or scammers or gold diggers when you look in places like bars or online. This is just my perception, you know. My perception has been shaped. But is this really the reality? Is that the truth? I don't think so, you know, because I have not dated the real, the nice, the gorgeous, the honest and the truthful Filipinas. I have met them, certainly. I probably dated them also, but not many of them. But you know, the bad ones outweigh the good ones, not because there are too many or so many bad ones. No, it is just I looked in places where mostly the so-called bad girls are, and then it's no rocket science that you will run into these girls, right? So what is my conclusion? I stay away from bars anyway for a long time already. I stay away from bars, I stay away from Angeles City, I stay away from Burgos in Manila, and I don't even know the other places in the other cities. I stay away from online dating sites, and I will focus and then on meeting girls in so-called normal, regular places like the mall, the streets, the restaurants, the beach, you name it. There are so many different ways to meet Filipinas in the Philippines, right? The Philippines is full of Filipinas, and many expats will confirm this. I see so many comments online, guys who writing that they found their dream wife, their dream Filipina. They have been married now for decades already. Yeah, the beginnings were rocky also for them, and they learned their lessons the hard way. Some people really had to learn the lessons for many, many years, but at the end of the day, many, many men ended up with a gorgeous wife, and they swear that they found their dream wife. So it's absolutely possible, and I believe in that as well. So again, I want to leave this video on a high note. Yeah, I look forward to my next dating experience in the Philippines, and I learned about myself and the mistakes I made. And I don't want to end up like these guys who are so bitter and so negative about Filipinas because they ripped me off. You have to think about it twice. Who gave the money? Who bought the house? Who gave everything to them? I mean, I don't want to judge these guys, and I also don't want to judge these girls. I don't know, we have to look at it case by case, and yeah, maybe there were some really, really smart and cunning Filipinos who really scammed the money or whatever out of the guys, but at the end of the day, you have the full responsibility over yourself. And this is how I see it. I mean, you can see it differently in a different way, it's up to you, but I want to claim responsibility for myself and the mistakes I made. I made the mistakes, not the Filipina. If I present myself as a victim or easy bait, then of course the Filipina will jump on me and will take advantage. Something probably what happened just last month or in July, 2 months ago. So I have to work on myself. I have to think about myself. I have to really look into myself and learn and develop myself further and my views, and I have to just gain more experience. Also, I have to work on my discernment, on my judgment. I have to get more confident with dating Filipina women. With that, I mean, that includes that, how do you get confident? You have to practice. So practice dating. Yeah, try to date the good ones, and you still will learn. I will learn, right? I will learn a lot of things about these women. So if I have dated maybe 10, 20, 30, or maybe even 50 good women, and it hasn't worked out with them in the future, I still would have learned, right? Or will have learned, and that makes me smarter, makes me wiser, it makes me more experienced, and also it makes me more confident. And also I would have or will have learned a great deal about their culture and how these women really tick. For me, it's a fascinating topic. So I'm willing to put my boots on the ground again and start to date. I'm really looking forward to it, And yeah, that's my story. I started like many other guys, young and single and green behind the ears, and I blew my money. You don't want to know how much money I blew. I will share this in a different video. For years and years, I just blew my money. I spent it all on girls, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. You can call it like that, except drugs. You can call it sex, drugs, and alcohol. Yeah, I'm not proud of it, but that was how it was, and I'm transparent here. I don't want to judge people. I even don't want to judge myself, but I want to be at least transparent to give you the context, where I'm coming from, and then also that you can maybe see how I have developed in my thinking, my thinking process. I wish for myself that my thinking process is maturing, because I want the best for myself at the end of the day. But also if I date, let's say a Filipina, a good one, a nice one, I also want the best for her, and I think everybody deserves a nice, mature, honest, truthful partner, right? So with that being said, I'm checking out for the day. The video took longer than I thought, 29 minutes, but this is just what I wanted to share with you today. Let me know your comments. I'm looking forward to it, as long as the comments are constructive and mature and bring some value, not only to me, but also to the other viewers. I welcome them. Let me know. Take care. See you in the next video. Have a great time. Bye bye.